Good evening, class. So we'll be seeing polity and governance ka current affairs. Just a few minutes. So the topics that we will be seeing is National Family Health Survey 6. This is the newest. From now on, if you will be using in mains answer writing, earlier we told NHFS 5, it now has to be NHFS 6. 6 years of PM's 1AD scheme. Delhi High Court recognizes right to be forgotten. India's semiconductor vision for 2035 and amendments to the immigration and foreigners rules. And we'll start with the first topic, National Family Health Survey 6. This is given for the year 2023-24. So why are we discussing this news? Again, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, that is the one that releases this. I want to write this down. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare releases National Health Family Survey data. Okay, so what is this institutional deliveries means? Basically, your National Health Family Health Survey is more like a logbook for entire country. How is the country working? In this, compared to earlier, 90% of the deliveries that has happened, it has happened in hospitals. Understanding? Institutional delivery means hospital delivery. India wants to make sure we increase the amount of institutional delivery. Why? Because if any complication arises, you will have the right way, guidance, doctors to deal with the approach. India is nearing universal safe childbirth coverage. Again, 91% of the children are born with hospital care and support. This survey that they have told, how much have they surveyed means 6.79 lakh households in 715 districts. Okay, this is their intensive survey. So when did for the first time we start doing this family health survey means from 1992 to 93. As of now we are in 5th such survey. Okay, again it is conducted by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for every 5 years. Nodal agency is respect to your family and health. So why are they doing this survey? For households, district level, and if you have to create, for example, there will be many government health schemes, Pradhan Mantri Janani Suraksha Yojana, okay, Pradhana Mantri Ma, MAA, Mother's Absolute Affection. So these kind of Janani Suraksha Yojana. If government has to give these schemes, it has to need data. That data is taken from National Health Family Survey. So they have started using your digital literacy metrics, HIV testing is also included. Everything under this will have clinical and biomedical tests. Now in this, okay, National Health Family Survey 6, few highlights have been found out. What does that means? Compared to National Health Family Survey 5, the previous one, we have comparatively increased few things, that is on a good terms. What is that? First is maternal health. Institutional deliveries, like I told you, hospital deliveries. In National Health Family Survey 5, only 88.6% of people were getting. Now this number has increased to 90.6%. Your childbirth, when a child is born, the child will be taken care, no? That was earlier 89.5%, now it has increased to 91.3%. Postnatal care, which means 2 days after the child is born, whatever care is taken, earlier it was 79.1%, now it is 85.3% by the hospitals. Next, your anti-ANC means, let's say you have just conceived, okay, that time you have to register first trimester, second trimester, so that registration has gone up to 95.9%. Earlier this data was not there, that is why that is blank. This say they have started newly. These two are very important, the first two. For mains answer writing, essay, facts and all, this is needed. Done? Alongside this, women who take folic acid tablets. If you see India, largely women suffer due to anemia or iron deficiency. So anyone who is taking 100 plus days of your folic acid tablets has increased from 44.1% to 54.9%. Who is taking tablets for 180 plus days, okay, that has increased from 26% to 37.8%. Okay, so like I told, your schemes like Janani Suraksha Yojana, Janani Matru Vandana Yojana, Matru Vaya Vandana Yojana, Shishu Suraksha Yojana, these are all later we will be discussing. So these schemes ke liye important data will be from this National Health Family Survey 6. So we saw it with regarding to maternal health. Now we will see with child health. Now the data that I'll put an asterisk, that is important. Okay, child stunting has reduced from 35.5 to 29.3%. Severe wasting has reduced from 7.7 to 5.2%. Underweight children have reduced from 32.1% to 31.8%. Your exclusively breastfeeding for children from 6 to 8 months has increased from 45.9 to 59.5%. Also, if you see the immunization means vaccines which you will give, that has also increased from your 83 to 87%. Rotavirus vaccine also, the percentage of people, children covered has increased. Measles, public facility, all of these things ke liye the percentage is quite well improved. So up until the child turns 6 months, completely child has to be breast milk fed. That has increased to 95.6%. From your 6 to 8 months onwards, Alongside breast milk, you will also supply nutritional food, no? That has also increased from 41.8 to 50%. So basically, your UWIN platform, digitally you can get these data as to how the nutrition of children is, mother is, all this can be seen in Portion 2.0, where government provides nutritional food. Okay, that is also covered under this. Next. One important thing this NHFS survey 6 tells us, the total fertility rate, which means one woman in her lifetime can average have how many children. In India, the present ratio is 2. Okay, TFR rate is 2. No. You are telling that in particular states. Okay. No. From according to your NHFS survey 6, it is 2 only. Why we are still sticking at 2 and not 1.9 is national, that is your world limit is 2.1. We are 1 point below, we have fallen 1 point below to 2, not 1.9. We have not touched 1.9. Why means this shows that population is stabilizing. Okay, 1.9 we have not fallen. Okay, and women who know about contraceptive, that is if they don't want your, let's say, childhood or your conception of child, the percentage of women who have knowledge about these contraceptives have increased from 66.7 to 69.1%. Okay. One more interesting thing about your NHFS survey 6 is, alongside this they have also added things such as, for the first time a woman has used internet. That has increased to how many percentage? Just so that she can get and acquire knowledge, from 33.3 to 64.3%, this number has increased, which means women are now given more access to your digital inclusion. They also have mobiles. Now percentage of women owning mobiles has increased from 53.9 to 63.6. They have their own bank accounts, health insurance, and hygiene methods. Hygiene methods means your sanitary pads, napkins, all those things. Access has increased from 77.6 to 79.2%. Why? Again, because of your Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras, where they are promoting menstrual hygiene, giving your menstrual pads at subsidized rates. Okay, so menstrual hygiene scheme, Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, where we are offering subsidized menstrual pads. So if you see, institutional delivery has increased, first trimester noting has increased, also your fertility rate compared to your NHFS 5 to 6 has also increased. With respect to children, the stunting has decreased, full vaccination has increased. The data such as the women usage of internet, active bank accounts, and children who are exclusively breastfed, all these things are one thing. Means another issue that is happening is, in the same NHFS survey 6, a lot of adults are having obesity, lifestyle diseases, high blood pressure. This is on the higher risk. Okay, this is also the concerns shown by your survey only. This is very important. The rising rate of alarming amount of C-sections in India. WHO tells that for entire country, including private and government hospitals, C-sections should be 10 to 15% only, delivery of child. But in India, private hospital alone is having 54.1% of C-sections. and government hospital is having 16.9%. So they are completely commercializing the maternity. Despite the fact that child stunting, wasting, all that is reduced, there is still the fact that 1 in 3 children are stunted, low weight, height. Women obesity has increased from 24% to 30%. Urban women obesity has increased to 42.8%. Men obesity has gone from 23 to 27. Non-communicable disease burden, which means something that does not spread through contact, such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, are all increasing. Okay, again, why? Lifestyle diseases. One more issue that is pointed out is blood drawn tests are removed. In order to test for anemia, you have to give blood. That concept is removed, which means anemia mukt Bharat ka data, how will you determine, is what they are asking. Anemia mukt Bharat means we have to reduce anemia at any cost. With respect to your diarrhea, okay, children having waterborne diseases, or with respect to children's immunity increasing because of increasing breastfeeding practices, they have also significantly increased, basically protecting the child health. If you see with respect to the government programs there to support Poshan Abhiyan, this particular scheme targets malnutrition by providing your nutritious cooked meals to children. Next is Saksham Anganwadis. Saksham Anganwadis provide good ICDS centers. ICDS means Integrated Child Development Centers. Here is where they will give you vaccinations, immunization, your food practices, all those things, hygiene practices. So, how is this data important for us? When we have this data, it will be useful for us in making evidence-based policy making. Simply, you cannot keep giving everyone everything. Resources constraint are there. So, you have to make sure targeted welfare beneficiaries are met. Okay. Welfare is given to those who are the one who can't afford it themselves, not for everyone. And also maternal and child welfare, women empowerment, all these are linked alongside your concept of universal health care coverage that forms important aspect under Article 21, right to life. Right to health is also under right to life. So these SDGs will be important for you from your mains perspective. SDG 2 is for zero hunger, SDG 3 good health and well-being, SDG 5 gender equality, SDG 10 reduction of inequalities. In that at least 2 and your 3, make sure you will know SDG 2 and 3. Done? So, what can we know from this? NHFS 6, institutional deliveries increased, full immunization has also increased, Women with bank account has increased. Women who are using phones and owning phones or using the digital internet has increased. C-section is alarmingly at a very high rate in India. Okay. Child stunting has decreased. TFR has fallen below your replacement level. Replacement level is 2.1, national replacement level. But in India it is 2, which means it is falling because it is a stabilizing population. Health insurances have increased because of your Ayushman Bharat. Rotavirus vaccination has increased, and they have removed blood drawing for your anemia, which might affect the data for Anemia Mukt Bharat. We'll see one possible question from this. Consider the following statements regarding the National Family Health Survey 6. India's total fertility rate is below the replacement level fertility rate. For replacement level is 2.1. We have 2. So this is correct. Institutional deliveries in India have crossed 90%. Full immunization coverage among children aged 12 to 23 months has declined compared to NHFS 5. No, it has increased, not decreased. So this is the terminology. It is wrong. Correct options are 1 and 2 only. Next topic, 6 years of PM Swanidhi. Done? See, actually what happened was during the COVID pandemic time, there was severe lockdown imposed. People could not go out to resume their lifestyles. In this period, what happened means the first to get affected were the street vendors. Because their entire livelihood was if they go out, sell the vegetables or sell whatever it is, then only they will earn livelihood. Now lockdown pay, they can't go out. Their entire livelihood gets affected. So your PM Swanidhi scheme was created specifically for street vendors. It has become 6 years since it. This was started post your COVID pandemic. So why are we discussing this? Because PM Swanidhi has completed 6 years. Who is the one that played an important role in this? Means Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Why was this brought about? To also bring them under financial inclusion, give them loans, give them another source of income. So you give them entrepreneurship and livelihood. So what is this in general? It is a social security coverage for street vendors. This point is very important. This is what describes PM Swanidhi. And now street vendors have also started adopting a lot of your digital payments. So PM Swanidhi scheme was launched in 2020 by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It's a central sector scheme. Who is sponsoring this or who is involved in this? Means it is SIDBI. Okay. They are the financing partners. Small Industries Development. Again, when was it launched? During your COVID-19 pandemic, and they have extended this until 2030. They are targeting to cover 1.15 crore street vendors through this PM Swanidhi scheme. What are they going to give in PM Swanidhi? Affordable credit to street vendors, See, street vendors may not always have collaterals to get loans, but through this they will be given loans. Okay, and they will reduce dependence on money lenders, and even if their livelihood gets affected, they can survive through this. So, how is the loan facility they are giving? They will give it in phases. Once only they will not give. First time in 15,000. Then if you pay that loan you have completed means you will be given 25,000. You can go for higher scaling up. Next is 25,000. Next is 50,000. In this, government provides annual 7% subsidy. If at all you are repaying your loans properly, you will get the subsidy from government. And also you will keep getting cashbacks on UPI transactions. At least that way they will start using more of UPI. Initially India Pay also we had when we moved to your digital payments. Next is they will be given a credit card, which is RuPay credit card, which they can spend up to 30,000 rupees. And everything in here is collateral free. They don't have to have any assets or anything. Now, PM's 180 scheme is trying to make sure it is a social welfare scheme for street vendors. For example, if you see One Nation, One Ration card, this is also another social welfare scheme where for migrant workers who go from one state to another but still should get access to ration. So that is why they have added this scheme in the list of welfare schemes. Okay. So one more thing about this particular PM's 180 scheme is 180 says Samriddhi. Street vendors के लिए whatever you're giving these loans, this is going to bring Samriddhi, prosperity. Sahakar says Samriddhi. Cooperation brings prosperity. Understanding? So they are not only just thinking about credit support, but they are integrating this with other welfare schemes. So, what are the major achievements under Swanidhi? Again, this will become important for your prelims perspective because it has completed 5 successful years. No? 1.12 crores 1.12 crore loans have been given. Total valuation has been 17,800 crores. More than 75 lakh beneficiaries have benefited from this. They are also counting how much digital transactions street vendors are doing. So we see how much loans were sanctioned, how many street vendors were benefited, and this RuPay credit card I told you that has increased by 30%. First time borrowers have increased to 95%. This is very important. 46% of the beneficiaries are women and 70% of them belong to marginalized communities.
Does it mean 70% of the women belong to the marginalized communities?
Overall. $55 lakh plus street vendors have started using digitization, and in this 1.52 crore plus welfare benefits have been delivered through a combined linkage. Okay. Now, this one important thing they are trying to add is your inclusive urban development, wherein they are trying to promote women-owned small businesses. Okay, because your street vendors ke liye you're giving money means it is not only for that. Any small entrepreneurship activity or through your digital medium they can sell. You know, you have heard of this small cloud kitchens and all this, no? Those kind of things. So they're trying to make sure they use this money to create some business like that. But on their own, they're not able to get loans because no collaterals. This funds, huh? See, that is why they are giving at a minimal rate. Like you told, yes, they can take it for something and utilize it for one thing. But each time you make a transaction, right, especially under these schemes, it gets logged. If you don't repay it back on time, you will not be given another. So that issues are also there. But if you ask me, is there possibilities of misuse? Yes. So for urban local bodies, we have started this street vendors scheme post your COVID pandemic. This has been the 6th year, where you will give it in installment wise. You also get a credit card based on your timely repayment. You will also get subsidy in interest payment. Women beneficiaries have increased to 46%. This scheme will go on up to 2030. Consider the following statements regarding Prime Minister Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi or PM Swanidhi. It's a central sector scheme launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It provides collateral-free working capital loans to street vendors. The scheme is implemented by NABARD as technical partner, SIDBI. Correct options are 1 and 2. Next is Delhi High Court recognizes right to be forgotten. See, in simpler sense, what is this topic about right to be forgotten means? Let's say there is one particular industrialist. Some allegation cases have come against him. So all your media pay everywhere, they will put up these articles, even whether it is true or false, they will put it up. For example, a couple years ago, this Adanika issue had come up. Hindenburg had published something. They don't know whether it is true or false, but based on the speculation, they will put it out. Now, over the years, finally, your Adani told that, I have settled all the things with whatever allegations were made against me. But now, even now, there is data about me which gives misleading information. That is affecting my credibility. If I'm a share or a stock or a business holder or anything, or even a private individual, if there is some information about me that is either not in the good of public interest or it is misrepresenting me, I can ask the people to remove the data about me. Okay, that is called right to be forgotten, right to remove the information that are no longer valid or wrong or not suitable for the public. In this case, I can ask them to remove my content and they will remove it off. But this right to be forgotten is not an absolute right. Let's say a particular person was involved in some case, okay, where he was, let's say, convicted of women harassment, child molestation, or any such thing. Now this person can't tell, I have gone to prison and come out, now I don't want data about me, remove it, you cannot tell. Understanding? So this right to be forgotten means some important information about you, which may no longer be important or which is outdated, can be removed. That is called right to be forgotten. Delhi High Court tells that yes, there is this thing called right to be forgotten, which we will include it under Article 21. Right. But that is not absolute. Every time, only in certain scenarios. So Delhi High Court has added right to be forgotten under Article 21, right to privacy. Which article, which case pe right to privacy was added? Justice Puttaswamy case pe right to privacy was added under 21. Now right to be forgotten is added to right to privacy under 21. Write that down if you want. Right to privacy, Justice Puttaswamy case. So, what is right to be forgotten? Right to remove personal information from digital platforms. So, you tend to forget that. When will you use it? When the information is outdated, irrelevant, excessive, or affects your privacy. So, only on these grounds you can tell someone to remove your data, not every time. And also, why is this thing there? So that individual liberty, dignity, privacy is protected. When did this concept of right to be forgotten came in? From your Google Spain case, wherein they told that search engines must remove personal information if it is no longer relevant or it is too much for the public. It is infringing on the privacy of an individual. So this was decided by European Union Court of Justice. So this was the first time global recognition happened for right to be forgotten. In India, right to privacy is a fundamental right under 21 because of Justice Puttaswamy case. Now this right to be forgotten is added under right to privacy, which goes to Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. So Delhi High Court has told that yes, right to be forgotten is part of privacy under 21 and courts can enforce this. Even if no law is made, still courts can make this happen. But this also comes with certain conditions. It is not absolute in nature, which means I can give, that is courts can give order to search engines, databases, online platforms. What? Remove searchable names, de-index specific content, which means your online, how the way it will search. Based on the amount of keywords you do and how many times you open a page, it will start indexing it. So these kind of things all will be removed. And it is not that if your name, let's say you're an Indian, but your name is being tarnished in some global medium, that time also it is applicable, not only in India or Indian domains. Again, here open justice means whatever happens in this, people have the right to know, but at the same time, there is also an individual's concept of privacy. So this is the balancing between privacy and transparency. Okay. They are telling no matter what happens, whatever our judgment is, it will be public and individual's name need not be searchable always. Their individual names will be removed, but whatever decree we will give it in public only. So this is the exceptions. In which cases can you do this right to be forgotten means when you are acquitted, when you are told okay there is no blame on you, when there is discharge or quashing of FIR or settled disputes, in these cases you can ask for right to be forgotten. But despite this also what will remain means court judgments, because I told you they will be public. The government records, all of this will be public. But in which cases is it not applicable, or when can't you use right to be forgotten means when you have did crimes for women, children, public trust violation, when you are a public servant, elected representative, okay, or when you have been involved with large scale amount of people's money. In these times, it will not be valid. So why is it in this way? Because of larger public interest. We'll see a question. Consider the following statements regarding right to be forgotten. It is recognized by Delhi High Court as a part of right to privacy under Article 21. It allows individuals to seek removal of personal information from digital platforms when such information no longer serves legitimate public interest. Right to be forgotten is an absolute right and applies in cases involving against women and children. Here it is not absolute. Okay, that is the keyword. So correct options are 1 and 2 only. India's semiconductor vision for 2035. Done? See, in simplest sense, if we have to speak about semiconductors, semiconductors are the future and the present, which means if you see majority of the countries such as your Australia, India, Japan, all the growing countries including USA, from anything that has digital application, everything uses rare earth minerals or your semiconductors including your EV vehicles. One issue is 75 to 80% of the world's total semiconductor or rare earth mineral production and processing is with China only. The irony is, for example, if you see, Australia has much more resources, but it has no production units or processing units. So even it takes it from China because it is more economical. Because of this, what happens? China controls the entire semiconductor critical mineral energy. No, see, rare earth minerals, okay, and rare earth mineral production into semiconductor, first place is still China. Okay, Taiwan, recently if you would have heard about Taiwan, it overtook India as the 5th largest economy. India fell to 7th, understanding, but it is still in the 5th. The earlier raises are still China only. Okay, now if you see your Taiwan, South Korea, Vietnam, all of them are trying to bring about semiconductor processing. Same as with India, but India is still very much lagging behind. So why are we looking into this? Because Niti Aayog has published a new report called as Frontier Tech Hub, which is speaking about how India's future semiconductor industry should be. The timing is important is because the budget also speaks about India's Semiconductor Mission 2.0. So your Niti Aayog report and budget are on sync, telling that priority has to be given for semiconductor technology. So ISM 2.0 is important. Done. If you see the potential of semiconductor industry, it is 120 to 100 billion US dollars. But India is not utilizing this. We have huge demand, but we are not utilizing this. So we have created from Niti Aayog report 3 pillar strategies there. First is create strategic self-sufficiency. As of now, do we have it? No. We are largely 80 to 90% we are importing only. Second, strengthen the ecosystem in your chipsets and also your protection of wafer designs, okay, and also your global indispensability. Okay, there is good amount of trusted suppliers for silicon carbide and gallium nitride, which is very much needed. You can utilize that to your advantage is what your Niti Aayog report is telling. But again, if you see, there was no consistent policy in order to bring about semiconductors. Now in budget only, they have announced, in Niti Aayog report also tells the same. So by 2035, we are aiming to do this. As of now, do we have it? No. So we want to go and reach 10 to 13% of global market share. It is a very ambitious project, okay, but it is still very less. We are thinking 35 to 50% of domestic demand should be met. As of now, even 10% of domestic demand we are not able to meet. In that, they want to make sure that in the semiconductor production, processing and also packaging, at least the value chain has to be created in such a manner that India should be able to, even if we don't have rare earth metals, we should be able to have the processing of it at least. As of now, we don't have that also. So this is India's 5P semiconductor strategy. Pioneering, which means research, innovation. Next is policy and investment. This is where your budget, let's say in the budget they have introduced version 2.0. So that also speaks about it. Next is your production or creating your semiconductor zones. Next is people, the 4th layer. The 5th one is partnership. So this is the 5-pronged approach for semiconductor industry in India. And in this we are planning to partner up with countries such as USA, Japan, EU, South Korea. One commonality among all these is all of them try to create alternate zones for your Chinese production and Chinese dominance. So that's why we call it as China plus one strategy. Don't put all the eggs in China basket, diversify. So if you see where and all we are using your semiconductors, electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, data centers, cloud infrastructure, okay. As of now, how are we with respect to semiconductor? 90 to 95% of semiconductor is based on import dependence. We are spending huge amount of money, foreign currency, or our forex reserves only in the imports. Alongside that, if this keeps on going, the import cost can even get doubled if we don't take action. Okay. So we have created first fab milestone, that is we have started this with respect to your Gujarat pe we have started India Semiconductor Mission. Nodal ministries, MeitY, Ministry of Information and Technology. What is the objective? Semiconductor ecosystem has to be created. We'll look into one question. Consider the following statements regarding India's semiconductor vision 2035. India aims to capture 10 to 13% of global semiconductor market by 2035. Aims only, no? So this is fine. India seeks to become top global supplier of silicon carbide and gallium nitride materials because we have trusted sources. See, these kind of words always means right. Next, India currently imports less than 25% of its semiconductor requirements. 90 to 95%. So correct options are 1 and 2 only. Last one. Amendments to Immigration and Foreigners Rules. Done? See, simple thing was earlier, if at all, think of it this way. One person is Indian, has married a spouse who is not an illegal immigrant. Now they have a child. What safeguards will that child get or will not get? That is what we will be seeing here. So anything with regarding to citizenship, immigration or your legal status is all defined by Ministry of Home Affairs, and that they have given in Immigration and Foreigners Rules in 2025. Anything and everything to do with citizenship, it's Ministry of Home Affairs only. So here they have mentioned rules regarding foreigner registration, visa compliance, citizenship of minors and internal security monitoring, which was already there in Citizenship Act of 2019, that will continue. What these three are, we will see. First, revised registration timeline. Now let's say earlier, let's assume one foreign national who has the Indian visa. He or she comes to India. Earlier, what was the rules means, if you have a visa that tells 180 days you can stay in India. The earlier rules, before this rule was, even after 180 days has completed, okay, your visa period is ended, but you decide to stay further in India means, after 180 days completion, 15 days you have time to go and tell that I will stay here. This was earlier rules. 180 days expiry will be done. After that, you will tell you will stay in India. But now they have told that if you decide to stay in India above 180 days, you have to do that before the expiry of 180 days. Earlier, 180 days expiry and still you had 15 days time. Now, if your intention is to stay in India, you have to tell that before 180 days completion. Why is this? So that they can monitor foreign nationals and immigration can be properly followed. Second is multi-entry visa rules are tightened. Again, anyone who has visa limit above 180 days, okay, you have to tell in that how many days you want to stay here, why do you want to stay here, and if you want to extend your stay, we will only allow it for emergency provisions. Okay, just like that you can't just stay. So they are allowing the extension only in emergency circumstances. And that also you have to ask before 180-day completion. Third thing is provision for children. That is, here they are going to talk about mixed parentage. Like I told you, one parent Indian, one parent foreign national. Two conditions, let's say. Earlier condition was one parent is Indian, another parent is foreigner. For them, child is born. Earlier, if the child is born within 30 days, electronic intimation, that is either through mail or through text, you have to convey that child is born here. But now it tells, if this child, okay, this parent is thinking this child will be Indian only. If the parent is thinking that, then that time they don't have to follow this 30-day intimation. Understanding? But let's assume if at all they have changed their mind that no, I will give this child foreigner, this person country citizenship, then within 30 days they must inform the registration officer. Understanding? If the child is thinking of Indian citizenship, then no need for that. But if not, they have to do this. Why are they doing this? So that they can maintain a proper log of citizenship records. Last one, medical institution compliances. Now, each and every time a foreigner who is in here, and now something he gets hurt or he wants to go get avail some benefits, etc., in your hospital, nursing home or medical facility, then these data about where they have been, what they have been diagnosed with, what services they have availed, those also have to be put up. Why is this? So that they will have a better idea of how these people, where they are moving. Again, why are they doing all these things? For your security compliance. So, anything that we are going to speak about as to giving your OCI card holder status and all those, it is not applicable to your Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, same as your citizenship procedures. Now recently they are also thinking to bring about your electronic OCI cards. Earlier it was physical cards. Now they are thinking to give electronic digital cards. So this is from your polity perspective. Everything from citizenship, Article 5 to 11. Your mother act of citizenship is Citizenship Act of 1955, which speaks about acquisition, termination, registration and naturalization. With respect to foreigners entering into India, all this thing earlier was by Foreigners Act of 1946. Now it is Passport Act of 1920, which both they have combined. We'll see one possible question. Foreigners arriving on a visa of 180 days or less and seeking to extend their stay must register before the expiry of 180-day period. This is the new rule. A child born to an Indian citizen and a foreign national must always be electronically intimated to the registration officer within 30 days irrespective of citizenship status. Now here we said, see, must always. Now if the parent thinks to keep Indian citizenship for the child, then they don't have to intimate it. So this is wrong. If a child of mixed parentage acquires foreign citizenship while in India, the parent must inform registration officer within 30 days. Correct. So correct options are 1 and 3 only. This completes your today's topic. Any doubts? Online class, any doubts? We'll end the session.